Welcome to Brave Together Parenting, an empowering and truly helpful podcast for the parents of children with disabilities and all unique needs. Number one, I'm still caring for my daughter from afar. I'm still advocating for her from afar, right? But I also have time and energy to give to other new moms who have a journey that they have to go through. When I was deep in my parenting with Sully and we were putting out fire after fire after fire, there was no space for me to do that. And now that she's in a great place and now that she's flourishing and thriving, I have space to help other women, other parents who are walking that journey. Have you seen that as well for you?
Yeah, I mean, that's interesting that you use that word space because that's what I've said this past year. So Lucas will be in the group home February 1st.
Wow.
And initially that space like haunted me. I didn't even know what to do with all this space that used to be used up in caring for him. And I think I recognized at some point that saying yes to being Lucas's primary caregiver for the rest of his life was going to be saying no to so many other aspects of my life that were really meaningful to me, including like my other children, my husband, myself. And I think that's what I'm grappling with. Like, could I do something just for pleasure? Like my whole life has been so wrapped up in advocacy for Lucas, which helps so many other people too. But coming out of that a little bit and going, there's so many more layers to this journey called life. And I want to experience it all, not just special needs, which is like, I'm sure you felt this way too, like for years and years has just, I mean, it overwhelms your life because you're constantly fighting.
It is your life.
Yeah, it is your life. And there's so many more things to life. And so that's been kind of interesting. Like, what do I want to explore? Do I want to take a pottery class? Or, I have some time now.
That's beautiful. Tell us how Lucas is doing.
He's doing so well. I mean, he is thriving. He loves his new home. He's gained in so many skills and independence because he has 24/7 staff that has like energy. And most of them are around his age. So it's like he's sort of living in this frat house and they love on him and spoil him and he is living his best life. It's like he's friends with some of the staff and they're friends with him. And it's been a remarkable thing for us. And we still see him once or twice a week. We spend most Sunday afternoons with him. But then he's ready to go back and we're ready to go back. And it's like, okay, bud, I love you. I'll see you next week. It's a process though, for sure. Like this grieving, processing, accepting, like, I feel like I've gone through these steps over and over this past year. And every time I land on accepting, it feels a little bit lighter in my soul.
Thanks so much for listening today. Do us a favor and leave us a review and a rating so that this podcast can get into the ears and the hearts of more and more moms. Did you know that Brave Together Parenting podcast is an extension of our nonprofit organization, We Are Brave Together? We Are Brave Together serves an international community of caregiving moms, offering support groups that are virtual and in-person, educational resources, and low-cost weekend retreats. And we have published our first anthology of caregiving stories entitled Becoming Brave Together, Heroic, Extraordinary Caregiving Stories from Mothers Hidden in Plain Sight. It will encourage and validate every parent caregiver. To join us today, go to wearebravetogether.org. Our support and sisterhood awaits you. Brave Together Parenting Podcast is for entertainment and education purposes only. It's not a substitute for professional care and should not be relied on for medical or mental health advice. The use of any content on our podcast, links, show notes, or on our website is to be done at your own personal risk. please seek out a professional to assess your own medical or mental health concerns, because we are all beautifully complex and the content of this podcast is for a broad audience.